John Blake presents Talking with Psychopaths and Savages, Beyond Evil, written by Christopher Berry-Dee and read by Colin Mace.
Preface. The gates of hell are terrible to behold, are they not? E. A. Buccianeri, author of Faust, My Soul Be Damned for the World. I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not fucking stupid, you know. The police say that what I did was criminal. The doctors say the components of my mind are unsafe. So, give me back my real brain. Hand over my intelligence, because all of you are taking away my faith in anything. Peter Sutcliffe, a.k.a. the Yorkshire Ripper, to the author at interview in Broadmoor Hospital. Hello, dear listener. I hope that I find you all singing and dancing, physically fit, full of grace, and mentally competent.
The latter, however, you may well not be when you reach the end, because this audiobook comes with a health warning.
Do not listen further if you have a weak constitution or are about to eat your dinner. But please ask yourself, what would it be like to be without morality, lacking a soul, to never feel compassion, have zero pity, or harbour any emotions at all towards your fellow man? What must it feel like to be a homicidal, sado-sexual psychopath, to become trapped in an ever-escalating, uncontrollable downward spiral of violence, to be pathologically compelled to inflict untold pain, torture, and immeasurable suffering on the innocent? Babies, young kids, the elderly, the weak, the vulnerable, the easiest of prey. For, unlike the majority of us, where there should be a conscience, inside the heads of the sado-sexual serial killer for kicks murderers, there is nothing but a void, a sinister black hole. Serial murders are the polar opposite to the virtuous and the honourable, for they are cowardly, weak-willed, ruinous, maleficent, lacking any moral compass, sexually discontent, subconsciously full of a twisted desire for revenge for the self-perceived injustices and sorrows that society as a whole has, they feel, heaped upon them. Worse, many of these mentally distorted monsters are possessed of predetermined schemes and black plans to kill again and again. In my view, they are way beyond evil, yet they fascinate so many of us at the same time. Close to hand is my well-read copy of When I Was at Scotland Yard by Chief Inspector James Barrett, CID, New Scotland Yard, published in 1932. DCI Barrett starts his preface with, "Crime is a matter of universal interest. It always has been, and it always will be. In itself, it represents to the millions of conventional people the unconventional, which they despise but still fascinates them. They like to read about it and hear about it." Now, that was penned by a distinguished, highly decorated, long-serving police officer, and what he says still holds good today. Moreover, James Barrett ends his preface with, "Now, let me try to entertain you." So, with tongue in cheek, let me try to sort of entertain you, with an admission to make first of all, because hopefully it will give you this audiobook's raison d'etre. There are countless, tens of thousands of books, magazine and professional journal papers, newspaper articles, compendiums, Wikipedia and other websites, TV documentaries and movies concerning serial killers and their crimes. In fact, the world is awash with this stuff, and quite often at least 20 or 30 publications of any sort or mix cover the same criminal and his crimes, and this is no bad thing either. With serial killers being relatively few and far between, it therefore comes with the territory that we true crime writers are often accused of rehashing old stuff just for the sake of it. Everyone is entitled to his or her opinions, of course we are, and we writers must respect the thoughts of our critics, but please make this criticism peer-to-peer, and not an hysterical rant from the totally uneducated in my subject, most especially those who have never met a serial killer in their lifetime, let alone written some 37 books on the subjects, as I have most exhaustively done over decades. Nevertheless, the plus side of this repetition gives us writers oft-times different slants on a given case, which, all combined, allow us a greater store of criminological knowledge, and to study even more, especially when fresh material unexpectedly comes to light.
For instance, in this audiobook, I
Sample complete. Ready to continue?